I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples, that makes disciples. We're disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples, that make disciples. Let's keep firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Good morning and happy Tuesday morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom Donnelly, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we're going to dig into the second half of Acts chapter 18. Bert Reggiani, good morning, and it was great to see you yesterday in person. Wow, that was awesome. And also wondered if you got notified at 8 o'clock about going live on YouTube, because I think that we got you to subscribe on YouTube, and I wanted to know whether you got notified on your YouTube channel. Vivian Davis, good morning. Jason Bailey, good morning. Amanda, you and your mom and Tam, you seem to have too much fun this weekend, so you guys just be careful. We may have to split you guys up, but well-deserved trip out towards Traverse City. Glad you guys enjoyed yourself. Steve Giroux, good morning. Joel Bell, hello all. Pamela C., good morning. Nikki Chasen, good to have you. Anne Marie, good morning. Bert, no you didn't. Okay, we got to figure that out, because someone was here just this morning. Bob Ayotte, and he always watches on YouTube because he doesn't have a Facebook channel, and I asked him if he gets notified, and he said yes. So we'll look into that and see what's going on. Let's see. Olivia Thompson, I'm used to seeing you at a table over here, smiling and laughing, and what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Karen Thompson, good morning, working soon. Now I know this is Emily Connolly and not Emicon. Now she's throwing me a loop because she's going to YouTube and not Facebook. Good morning to you and Abby. And then Amanda, it was amazing. Sure missed my friend and family on Sunday, though. Yeah, we missed you too, but it's just good for you guys to get out and about. Olivia, haha, I'll be home to visit soon. Visit? How about stay, you know? Only kidding. All right, let's see. I don't have a lot of profound things to say, but here we are in 51, 52 AD, and so the church is 2 decades old, 2 decades, 20 years or so, and it's kind of exploding, and that's kind of what you see here. Paul is finishing up his second missionary journey. And so I'm just going to kind of rip through part of this. And so Paul stayed on in Corinth for some time. We talked about yesterday for at least 1.5 years, if not 2 years. Then he left the brothers and sailed for Syria, which means he left some people there in Corinth while he went to Syria. He was accompanied by Priscilla and Aquila, 2 new individuals that we got to meet before, and now they're traveling companions, disciples of Paul. And they arrived at Ephesus, where Paul left Priscilla and Aquila, so they stayed in Ephesus, and Paul continues. So notice, he's leaving people that he trusts in key cities to continue to do ministry, continue to train, continue to teach, while he goes on to the next thing. But he also went into some synagogues and reasoned with the Jews, and they wanted him to stay longer, but he declined. Why decline? Because he wants to work his way back to Antioch, and Priscilla and Aquila are there to take care of business. He says, I'll come back if it's God's will. And then he sailed from Ephesus, and he landed in Caesarea, went up and greeted the church, and then went down to Antioch. And remember, Antioch is the base of the Gentile church. It is the base that Paul keeps going back to. It is in Antioch that we were called Christians for the first time. So he spent some time in Antioch, and Paul set out from there and traveled from place to place, and he begins to visit the Galatia and Phrygia, and he begins to strengthen all the disciples. Notice this. He calls them disciples. See, they didn't just make believers. They made disciples. They made people who understood that Christianity was 24/7 living in a new kingdom, or at least to the best of our ability, growing our faith so that we can live in this new kingdom. And meanwhile, a Jew named Apollos, a native of Alexandria, came to Ephesus, and he was a learned man, and he knew the scriptures well, and he instructed many in the way of the Lord, and he taught many about Jesus, but he only knew the baptism of John. So what happens? Priscilla and Aquila, who are in Ephesus, reteach him, add to his teaching some things that he didn't know. So listen to me. So this guy is saving souls and doesn't know all the doctrine. Does that say anything to you? It's okay. Just be an expert on the death and resurrection of Jesus, because that's what saves people. And this guy is going. He is saving souls, convincing many people, but he didn't know about the baptism of Jesus. He only knew the baptism of John. So they spoke to him about it, and Priscilla and Aquila heard him, and they invited him into their home and explained to him all the ways, and boom. When Apollos wanted to go to Achaia, the brothers encouraged him and wrote to the disciples to welcome him. On arriving, he was a great help to them who by grace had believed. And he vigorously refuted the Jews in public debate, proving from the scriptures that Jesus was the Christ. I only want you to see that never did Paul have an idea to go to one place, build a church, and be there for 60 years. He envisioned that someone of his ability should be building churches, building churches, and that he would train people to lead those churches and train elders to serve those churches and teach doctrinally the right stuff so that people could become disciples of Jesus. And so now you got Paul over here and Titus over here and Timothy over here and Apollos and Aquilus over here. And look at how God is using 20 years in, how God is using so many people to spread the gospel in all these different towns. And one of the most important things they're doing is fulfilling the second part of the Great Commission, and teach them to observe everything that I've commanded you. The idea is not that you're teaching not head knowledge. The idea is you're adding to their redemption knowledge about the kingdom of God so that they can live their lives properly, seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then trusting that everything else will fall into place. All right, that's what I have for you. I hope that this devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day. And may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.